Hi guys, this is my honest review of my mini Fujifilm 7S after more than a year, or maybe around 2 years or 3 years. I do not know, I forgot how long already. First review is, this is not a pocket size camera. As you can see, it is quite bulky compared to your other Fujifilm Instax cams, which are more expensive by the way. This is, I believe, the most affordable out of all of the line of Fujifilms that I have seen so far. And of course, compared to your smartphone, which is small, look at that. It's portable, but it has weight and would consume space in your bag. That's what I'm going to say. But if you want to just use your strap, but tendency is you're going to do this and you might bump the camera to something or someone. Next is you have a nice grip here. Considering that it is a big camera, you need to have a nice grip, especially if you're going to take selfies with it with just one hand. And also, as I mentioned, this strap is really useful, which comes in the package as well. I have mentioned that this is the most affordable Instax cam that I have seen so far. With that being said, the features are limited. Also, it's more on the manual side kind of camera. In short, you're the one who's going to choose the settings when you take your pictures. Next is, films are quite hefty. So if you compare the price of printing your pictures in a studio compared to the price of one of the films of an Instax cam, then here in the Philippines, you could print a photo with around 3.75 Philippine pesos. And if you compute the film, it's around 37 pesos each. So that's 10 times the price, or 10 times less. And I get that it's more on what you feel and the specialty of having just one picture of a single moment compared to having to have the choice. It's more of the feeling or the emotion that you get when taking pictures using a Instax cam. That's why I think people are still buying them even though they're expensive. Next is, this is one of my pet peeves in considering this camera, is the viewfinder is off. By that I mean it is not accurate. So what you have to do is go to the left a little bit whenever taking pictures, or else your pictures are going to be out of frame or cut. And the reason is, look at that, there's just a hole here. It's not really connected with the lens here. So therefore, the viewfinder is off. Also, another thing, it's kind of hard to take selfies with this camera because you don't have a small mirror. No, some Instax have a small mirror at the front, so that when you're taking selfies, you can see if everyone is in frame. Unlike here, you don't have that. So you just have to experiment and take a lot of out-of-frame photos then get it after a lot of practice. Next is, I think this was available in blue and pink, and I chose blue. I don't usually use this anymore nowadays, and one of the main reasons is the cost. Two is, I've been printing more in print shops because, well, I think I'm quite over the Fujifilm phase, that's why. Also, Fujifilm pictures takes quite a lot of space compared to your ordinary pictures that you could easily just stack. Here's an example. Look at this. Your Fujifilm photos are not flat, so they take more space and you have to actually bind them if they're already, oh my god, look at the dust. They're like cards, really. You have to bind them using tape or whatever if you're not going to put them in albums, because if not, the tendency is there. It's going to be a mess. And one of the reasons is, you can see it's not really flat, the photos. Okay. So you have to have albums for them, or just bind them with elastics. With all of this being said, if you want to be more on the practical side, then don't buy a mini Fujifilm or any Instax camera. The cost, because you will reach the point that your spendings on film would be greater than the price of the camera itself. Also, let's consider that the price already of the film itself, without considering what I just said, is quite expensive compared to your ordinary photo that you print in a print shop. But for experience and that emotion you get and that excitement of taking a picture with a mini Fujifilm or any Instax cam that you get, is something new for a lot of people. So if you want to start, or if you're really curious or want to have an Instax camera, then I highly recommend this one first, because it's not that expensive compared to the others, and if you like it, then you can jump on to the other Instax cams. But again, it's more on the manual side, so you have to experiment a lot to get used to it, on how to get proper photos. So that is it for this video. So if you're going to want to have a more practical camera, then I wouldn't recommend you buying a mini Fujifilm or any Instax camera. And just go with your normal printing shop or Facebook, or don't print your photos at all. But if you're into that experience and that excitement of instantly printing your photos, then go ahead and buy one of these. It's a starter Instax cam, but as I mentioned, it's more on the manual side. So there you go, guys. That's my honest review of this Fujifilm Instax Mini 7S. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Bye!